Bereft is a poignant and contemplative poem written by Robert Frost. The poem revolves around the narrator's deep sense of loss and grief, emphasizing the emotional struggle that comes with losing a loved one. The speaker finds himself in a desolate and barren landscape, mirroring his inner turmoil. Throughout the poem, he grapples with the absence of his dear departed, feeling isolated and emotionally disconnected from the world around him. As he reflects on the memories of his loved one, he tries to find solace in nature, but the feeling of emptiness persists. Ultimately, the poem explores themes of grief, loss, solitude, and the ineffable bond between the living and the departed. Themes: grief and loss. The central theme of the poem revolves around the profound grief and emotional upheaval caused by the loss of a loved one. Solitude and isolation. The narrator's emotional state leaves him feeling isolated and alone, even in the midst of nature and the external world. Nature's indifference. The barren landscape and the elements in nature reflect the narrator's inner desolation, emphasizing the idea that nature remains indifferent to human suffering. Memories and remembrance. The memories of the departed provide a sense of comfort and connection for the narrator, yet they also intensify his grief. Existential reflections. The poem delves into existential questions about life, death, and the meaning of existence. Symbols. Bereft landscape. The desolate and barren landscape symbolizes the emotional void and loneliness the speaker experiences after the loss of his loved one. Nature. Nature, in this poem, symbolizes the larger universe, which seems indifferent to the narrator's grief and struggles. Moon. The moon appears in the poem and can be seen as a symbol of cyclical life and death, reflecting the eternal nature of the universe. Stars. The stars, like the moon, represent the vastness and unyielding nature of the cosmos, contrasting with the narrator's personal grief. House. The mention of the narrator's house symbolizes the emptiness and absence of the departed loved one, who is no longer present in their shared living space. Literary devices. Imagery. Frost employs vivid imagery throughout the poem to create a powerful visual representation of the emotions and the landscape, allowing readers to experience the narrator's grief more deeply. Metaphor. The barren landscape and the absence of the departed act as metaphors for the emotional emptiness and loss the speaker feels. Personification. Nature is personified as being deaf and unaware of the speaker's grief, emphasizing its indifferent and unfeeling nature. Alliteration. Frost uses alliteration in certain lines, such as sinking shafts and gripped by water was thrown, to add rhythm and musicality to the poem. Repetition. The repetition of the word bereft reinforces the central theme of loss and serves as a constant reminder of the narrator's emotional state.